was moving through a tunnel so far away underground I could see light like swarms of fireflies, ghost lights shining along my path. Picture to picture, photograph to photograph, I was tunneling in the darkness, feeling my way, feeling the songs of buried treasure, reverberating like earthquakes, tunneling, we carved this place out of shadows. All these photographs were discarded, left to rot in boxes by the roadside. We lived in the ruins of this place. We'd project our cinema on the walls. The wallpaper was peeling away in curling cascades. We were the projectionists, shining our ghost lights on the walls, rippling images, shimmering pictures, music that scratches and rustles, cracking, splintering, whispering, pitter-pattering. An invented language, a secret language between lovers. I rearranged the memories and found something else. A hidden world, the hiding places of ghost children, like a photograph of a daydream shining faintly in the moonlight. Incorporeal, it called to me. I could hear the moonlight echoing, echoing, echoing. All the streets were empty, but the night was on fire. You could see it in the photographs. Everything had changed. The night was on fire, flickering brightly. Everything was burning. Everything was phosphorescent. You could hear the night. It was a burning song. We were singing a song, and the singing made us go crazy. We broke into homes and ran across the rooftops of houses. We danced on power lines like drunken tightrope walkers. Some of us were crawling into the sewers and then running around down there, screaming. We were screaming out and laughing. Our voices felt very far away. We felt like their song, or a rumor that might be whispered in the night. We were the bastards of these voices. collage of maps weaving stolen days through the tunnels of the night. All these places become their own shadows, a ghost world haunted by imagination. There's a blackbird on a wire fence watching a dead body on the train tracks. When we were kids, we'd walk alongside these train tracks on the sloping dirt paths. We were always getting drunk after school, hiding the bottles in our school bags. We'd stumble alongside the train tracks telling each other stories, only interrupted by the sounds of the trains passing by. People looking out at us from the windows, the rattling of the old tracks. There were a lot of tobacco plants growing alongside the tracks. We liked to climb the back fences, break into other people's houses. We called the path alongside the train tracks Trespassers Road. It was a path of backdoor entrances. We'd jump over fences and explore people's houses. One house in particular was all smashed up and abandoned. On the walls there was graffiti, poems to the occult. In the center of that house was a bathtub filled with broken glass, and some of the glass had blood on it. In the center of one room was a fallen chandelier and a dead cat pinned underneath it. In the corner of that room was a grand piano that I'd sit and sometimes play for hours. I felt like I was improvising the songs of all the dead things in this house. A friend of mine told me about the ghost keys, the notes you thought you heard but were never played. There are melodies that don't really exist, but we think we heard them anyway. Our belief is like a song, and that song is like a drug trip, echoing in our minds picture to picture, moment to moment. The blackbird that was looking at the dead body flew away, up into the power lines like a memory disappearing. I've drifted down back alleys and all the places they told me not to go. I've lived other lives, lives that they didn't know about. I don't hang around where the sun rises. I chase where the sun sets and become part of the shadows. I've done business in gambling dens, strip clubs and whorehouses. I've lived in abattoirs and made my camp in cemeteries. I've been called a vampire and a demon. My feet just take me town to town like a traveling circus. It's true. Above me somewhere in the clouds I can see the trapeze act. I can see them swinging across the sky. I've slept amongst the rubbish bins at the back of restaurants. I've slept in the burnt remains of firebombed houses and the catacombs of abandoned churches where bodies are buried. But I could hear the song of myself calling. One day I packed a suitcase full of haunted relics and started hitchhiking, going to where the maps all ended and the headlights of the cars turned into the lanterns of ghosts. I didn't have any money. I lived on the roadsides and my family were the runaways and the outlaws, the drug dealers and the prostitutes. The sunset was a big fireball shimmering across the highway like one big hallucination. I'm going someplace the police will never find me. I'm going somewhere I can burn out and then drift through the air like smoke. said. You said we all bleed the same, but we didn't. I looked in the red and see visions tripping. Vampires sing to my heart's rhythms. You didn't stick around till the intermission. Horny side to the flowers they throw on stage. I smoke bouquets of the haze, bow and go away at the curtain call. And sunsets of my days sunken in waves, no head above water. Should've known I couldn't court you. Your boyfriend's a lawyer. I was born in 9/6. I should've read the fine print. But baby, you the finest. So baby, what's the cheat code? Hot blooded, I bleed smoke. If you feel the same, you could play these games and leave clothes on the floor. You kiss my scars, you love my flaws. Now you don't love me at all. Now you don't love me at all. Now you don't love me at all. Go. Everything had been left behind, left abandoned. All the adults were gone. One day they just disappeared. We didn't have to go to school, we could break all the laws. There was no one to arrest us, no one to tell us what to do. We were part of a street gang. The other kids called us the Trouble Blazers. We liked to drive stolen cars and crash them into houses. Burn things, go into a house with a tank of gas and just light everything on fire. Soon enough there were other gangs. This kid back in high school, his name was Marlo Hutchins. The teacher would call his name and he'd always just say, present. He never got in any trouble. No one even noticed him. He was like a ghost. Soon as all the adults were gone, he started making a name for himself. He killed someone, hit him in the head with a wrench, hit him a whole lot of times, then just left the body out the front of his house for everyone else to see. Left it under a big eucalyptus tree. All the birds would fly down and peck at the body. They made it into a kind of nest, like a shrine for the birds, till their feathers would dye a dark red, and even their bird call seemed to sound a little different. After the killing, a lot of kids started following Marlo. A lot of kids started going with us, and there were some other gangs too. One gang called themselves the Cowboys, just like right out of the movies and stuff. But they didn't have real guns, only cap guns and BB guns, toy guns. We had real guns. We found all these guns just going through houses, hidden under beds and down in basements. People had hidden them away, but we found them. We had a big fight, a gang war, and I shot the leader of the Cowboys. His name was Pumpkin. That's what everyone called him. I shot him right between the eyes. His body slumped down in the middle of the train tracks. Looked like he was praying, but it's just the way that he died. Thing is, there's no trains that come around here anymore. You just see this boy's body just slumped on his knees there, like a scarecrow or a marker to let the trains know this is our town. They call it Pig Town. Back before we were born, there was a lot of abattoirs and tanneries here, and this place was famous for farming its pigs, the biggest, fattest pigs you've ever seen. It was us that named this place Pig Town. No one can even remember what it was named before. Something else, but no one remembers. Now we tell the stories of this town in rumors. We write our own histories and make our own kinds of trouble. Houses drift by like clouds. They drift away and leave these streets abandoned. The sky is a reflection of a few scattered remnants left behind. Cracks in a mirror, delineated striations in stone. Up there I can see faces in the trees, laughing. Children's faces, disembodied, playing games, a disappearing act between worlds. A bloody knife on the roadside, bullet holes in houses, a fallen tree in the middle of the road, the burned out remains of car crashes. Houses drift by like clouds. They drift away and leave these streets abandoned, but you can still hear voices in the breeze, half-whispered songs, bird songs out of key, a different kind of flight. Houses drift by like clouds, up there high above us, outside the world, boxes of old photographs forgotten in an attic, forgotten places, photograph to photograph, blurring across our memories, the astronomy of crawl spaces, hiding places for our games. I follow the red sand of the cemetery path where the gum trees grow. I wander alongside the tombstones past names of people I've never met. Grave to grave they plot their way, storied in death, architecture of death. A bloody knife on the roadside, there's a killer on the run, bullet holes in houses where hitmen shot their guns. The flowers are in bloom, the sun is falling out of cracks in the clouds, and the bees made their hives up in the power lines, glowing in the night, glowing like fireflies swarming in the day, becoming invisible. You can hear the buzzing, a song of electricity, swarming, swarming, swarming. The sky is like a reflection of a few scattered remnants left behind, souvenirs of another world, things we stole in our other lives, the driftwood of houses revealed by the ebb tide, rotting beneath the waves, an illusion of the moonlight, silhouetted beneath the sea. Then the tide comes back, surging, 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 drowning out the days, washing everything away. Houses drift by like clouds, sky blue, memories are forgotten, sky blue. I watch everything leave on journeys unseen, paths of meandering dreams, sky blue, up there in the impossible. Lost in it, yeah. Lost in it, lost in it again, lost in it again. Broken dreams, collage of days, pieces that you threw away. Stolen landscapes evaporate in the haze. Pictures fall down like rain, flicker with the lightning. Children hiding in the trees, stars amongst the leaves. Postcards from overseas, you can feel it in what you couldn't see. Invisible whispers of lips kissing you, ellipsis in your inner you. Dancing with my shadows underneath the moon. I left planet Earth tangential with the verse. Scattered relics on the seashore. Let me see your hidden world. Intertwine and twirl with me for a little while. Let go, let's go wild. For a moment I was a child. Let's go, let's go. Going through these places I didn't know. Going to these places I didn't know. Where I roam, far from home. Let it go, let it go. Oh, oh. Oh, oh. Broken dreams, collage of days, pieces that you threw away. Stolen landscapes evaporate in the haze. Pictures falling down like rain, flicker with the lightning. Children hiding in the trees, stars amongst the leaves. Postcards from overseas, you can feel it in what you couldn't see. Invisible whispers of lips kissing you, ellipses in your inner you, dancing with my shadow underneath the moon. I left planet Earth tangential with the verse, scattered relics on the seashore. Let me see your hidden well, intertwine and we twirl with me for a little while. Let go, let's go so wild. For a moment I was a child. For a moment I was a child. Time passing by you. Time passing by. Time passing by, let it go, let's fly.